Hello everyone, it's Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I hope everyone is doing okay today. Today has been an interesting day. Not necessarily a bad one, just an interesting one. I know for the people in the States it's in the morning. Before I start, if you guys enjoy what I'm putting down, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through Patreon. People ask why do I do it in the beginning of the videos. Is because people don't necessarily watch all the way to the end, especially if it's like an hour video or if it's long, the video end up being long. I always say this isn't going to take all that long, and then an hour later and it's like damn. Either way, I hope everyone is good. I have a slate of stories that I want to do tonight, but I have to start off with this one. This one is not long at all. This is just kind of pointing something out. I know that I've supported Sanders. Even now, stick by him. Because, and Ocasio-Cortez too, for that matter. The reasoning is because I'm okay with supporting that. That's one of those things where I think the people are being genuine. If at some point I think the people deviate from being genuine, then my support goes away. But it's contingent upon me believing that they're genuine and me believing that they're doing the best that they can in an imperfect system in order to get change. In the context of working in an imperfect system and trying to get change, I understand that from an outside perspective, it is not always the easiest thing in the world to figure out what the hell they're thinking. Or for that matter, even when you do know what they're thinking, it's not necessarily the most palatable of things to swallow. Things that they need to do in order for political expediency that, from my perspective, I don't particularly like. And it is my job to put pressure on to prevent them from doing so, or at the very least to give them a second thought, being that my support is contingent, that they will lose that support and other people who are like me. I say that to say this. It is a very small list of Democrats that I'm okay with. Tulsi is one of them. Sanders is not a Democrat. And Ocasio, yes. I was always sketchy with Gillum. Andrew Gillum, the African-American gentleman that's running in Florida. He's running to be the first African-American governor of Florida. Said the right things. Had the right video in order to try to pull at the heartstrings. But I'm a little bit more cynical in this respect, coming out of the Obama years. And so just because a person looks a particular way and acts a particular way doesn't necessarily mean they get my support. You can say whatever you want. You can promise a person that you can put a nationalized porn, as Winky said one day. But it's a little bit different from the standpoint of what you're actually going to do when you take office. Gillum sends out this tweet. Let's see if we can flip it. Alright. He sends out this. Dictators and those who associate with them must be held accountable for their intolerable and brutal actions. These sanctions are a positive step forward, but more must be done. What's more? What's more? They're sanctioning Maduro's wife. What's more? What are you talking about? Not just what are you talking about, you're running for governor of Florida. You haven't even gotten the goddamn job yet. And you're already talking about foreign policy. And doing so in a way that doesn't really make sense. Look, this is the point I'm getting at here. Andrew Gillum ran as an unabashed lefty. And despite running as an unabashed lefty, now he's talking about dictators must be punished and those who associate with dictators. All right, let's take you up on that. Let's start with the first point. Those who associate with dictators. Let's go with that. Maybe he doesn't know this. Maybe Gillum, Andrew Gillum, doesn't know this. But the United States provide military assistance for 73% of the world dictators. Here's a list. This was actually pretty meticulously done. Look at this. Afghanistan, yes. Algeria, yes. Angola, yes. Azerbaijan. Yes. 434,000 military sales and agreements. Oh, nothing for Belarus. Brunei? Yes. Burundi? Yes. Cambodia? Yes. Cameroon? Yes. And not just Cameroon. I've watched video where Cameroon soldiers slaughtered a woman, dragged her to a place, slapped her in the face, had the gun in her head, says, "You're going to die tonight, bitch," and then goes and murders her and the kid that's on her back. Do you believe that we pull support from Cameroon? No, we didn't pull support at all. We didn't pull support at all. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All of these things that you were saying from the standpoint of the election and standpoint in the state of Florida, and now you've all of a sudden jumped to international politics, and the thing that you've used for international politics is what boils down to a regime change operation from the standpoint of the United States. We have exerted magnificent force over South America going back for the last 70 years. To some degree, South America has started to have a certain degree of self-determination that, let's say, this right-wing government has been pulling at. One of the things, or one of the strands in that, has been Venezuela. Shouldn't you be focusing on Florida? Shouldn't you be focusing on winning your election? Why are you going into what's taking place right now in Venezuela in this kind of weird way of, dictators must be punished? We must remove dictators. We must remove dictators and the people who associate with dictators. I've just shown you a list of the countries that have dictators that we've been associating with. Are you also okay with these, or should all of these also be, so we sanction all of these? What do you say, Gillum? Dictators and those who associate with them. We associate with dictators. We associate with dictators. My issue to this is this. I'm sick of fake progressives. I'm sick of these people who talk a particular talk and then tack to the right for political reasons. If you're going to be a person, be a person. If you're going to be about it, be about it. Now you're talking about dictators. You're talking about dictators. Does Gillum know this? Does he know this? And why is he doing this? Why is he going into this? What I suggest to you is this. The thing with Cory Booker. And there's one more thing that's coming up. This. I was going to do this in a separate video, but what do I have to do in a separate video? Clinton plans a campaign with Gillum in Florida. You don't say! You don't say! Cory Booker and apparently Hillary Clinton love some Gillum. Love some Gillum. Which you can imagine gives me pause. Look, I understand to some degree this from the standpoint of Gillum. You've ran a flagrantly to the left campaign. And I don't mean flagrant in a bad way. I just mean you've ran far and fast to the left as you could possibly. Ran unabashed and ripped the chains off and just went out and said, yeah, I'm a lefty. I'm a lefty. So now you have to show a certain amount of bona fides from the standpoint of the right. And when you want to show strength and a little bit of bona fides from the right, what do? You need to punch somebody. Who are you going to punch? Hey, we're talking about this thing in Venezuela. Let's punch somebody in Venezuela. Let's punch somebody in Venezuela. I've always been sketchy on the Gillum thing. Didn't particularly know why. Didn't necessarily know him. So if I'm being honest, I didn't have an opinion on him one way or the other. I like the fact that he ran as an unabashed lefty, but just running a particular way is not the same thing as being a particular way. Those things are very different. You can tell me anything you want. You can tell me you're from the moon. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Is Gillum a neocon? And if he's not a neocon, why the hell is he talking like one? That's what I'm asking. If he's not a neocon, why is he talking like one? And is that what you really need to do in the state of Florida when you're running for the governor of Florida? Does the governor of Florida involve some degree of foreign policy where he's somehow involved in this? I don't understand why he's involving himself in foreign policy in this kind of weird and awkward way. Outside of, I need to up my right-wing bona fides. Hence, the Hillary Clinton visit also. Hence, the Hillary Clinton visit. This does not instill me with pride or with a sense of, this doesn't instill me with a sense of confidence in what is going to take place if he gets elected. but from the standpoint of this, I need to up my bona fides on the right. Would having Hillary Clinton come to your... Yes, that would do it. It would also sending out weird tweets where you're talking about punching somebody in the nose. And I'm using that metaphorically in Venezuela. Maybe. You have an election to win. You're fucking around talking about Venezuela. You have an election to win. Your focus needs to be on Florida, sir. That's my suggestion. Let's take a look at... Somebody sent me something, and I want to thank people for doing it, and I don't want to miss these. Come on. Kills for a living. Wait, you're telling me another progressive isn't really that progressive? Look, I never took a position on Gillum, so I have nothing to defend or attack here. But for fuck's sake, why are you telling me about Venezuela? Why? I guess what I'm saying is, I guess my annoyance here is I'm sick of this interventionist foreign policy. Donald Trump, a right-winger, is putting sanctions on Venezuela, and this guy who's supposed to be a lefty is like, yes! Yes! More sanctions! Make it hurt! Maduro was elected! Just like the gentleman before him. I can't think of his name. It'll come to me. Chavez was also elected. Just because the United States doesn't like them because they've nationalized the oil doesn't mean that the people did not elect them. There's a difference in those things. You're calling a guy a dictator. Hey, we support dictators all around the world. Why is this one so different to you? Why is this the one that you also want to make it hurt? It's just amazing. There's one more. You get a neocon warmonger, and you get neocon warmonger. Oh my God, everybody gets a neocon warmonger. Neocon. You know, there's going to be a march on Washington coming up in October. Winger sent me a link to this, and I'm glad he sent me a link to this, because if I was in Virginia, in the States, I would go. I think it's on the 20th to commemorate the previous march that took place for the Vietnam War. This is going to be a women's march, but I would imagine everybody is included in this particular march. Go. It's the least. Go. You have a guy in Florida that is now taking on this kind of weird neocon rhetoric from the standpoint of attacking Venezuela. And like I said, I strongly suggest that the reason he's doing this, he may fully mean it, but I'm cynical, and I think people do things for political reasons, especially if you're politicians. And I think, to his standpoint, he looks as this is an easy way to beef up my right-wing bona fides by talking about punching Venezuela in the nose. Oh, and Hillary Clinton is coming. Oh, and even Cory Booker. Oh, look what I'm doing with the camera. Cory Booker. My suggestion here is he's beefing up his right-wing bona fides. That's what I think. That's what I think. All right, I'm going to end this one because I don't want this one to go too long, because I have a bunch of other videos that I want to do today. I want to thank everybody for showing up for this video. I'm going to have patron appreciation this evening at 5 o'clock. Oh, God, that's going to hurt. That's going to be midnight. But I'm trying to have it on Fridays at 5, depending on where I am in the world. But for the time being, for right now, at least today, I have it this evening. Trudy, early, I think she was the first person to put something on. There was something that Sanders sent her that she wanted to talk about. So let's initiate it with that. And after that, we can kind of just bring up whatever the audience talks about. This has been a fuckfest of a... I have, you know, I have certain things that I need to attend to. Those things dealing with medical stuff. And I don't like restraints. And I don't know why I don't like restraint. I just don't like restraint. You know, you do treatments over the course of, you know, every few days or whatever. And you're stuck with a doctor's office, in a hospital, and I don't necessarily hate those things, because those things keep me alive. You know, I always say my wife is a moderating influence. I think those things are also, their job is to keep you alive, so they try to keep you alive. Now, your job is to live your life. Full stop. Which means that your job of living your life may run counter and contrary to their job of keeping you alive. You are the determining factor in that. You make the distinction on what you want to do. Now, the catch to that is, in keeping you alive, they're not wrong. There's certain things that you do that are going to injure you. There are things that where you're going to feel shitty about. But what do you want to do? You want to live your life, or you want to cower in the corner? You live your life. Part of the problem is that under normal circumstances, a person who's on dialysis is connected with a treatment, a center. I don't have a center. Traveling. So you're going from point A to point B, something that apparently people don't do. Fuck that. I don't necessarily care what people do. I want to travel. So for me, I need to book treatments at this place, that place, and move on. I get a letter or an email from my fixer who says, Mr. Thomas, we need lab work going forward monthly. And you're like, well, what do you mean I need lab work going forward monthly? I wish you could have told me that before I left, because I would have saved me the trouble of getting all of that shit done before I left. That said, I mean, I guess somewhat of a moot point. I still would have needed it for Africa, but still. I get an email today, and she's like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable with setting the schedule that you're putting forth. This is a self-determination thing. Self-determination is fucking aggravating. If I make a choice that ends up ending my life, then I made a choice that ends up ending my life. Then it's my choice. It has nothing to do with anybody else. I resent this idea that you have to be attached in this way. Let me do what I do. Leave me to my devices. Nevertheless, I fix it over the weekend. It's just aggravating. Just aggravating. Michael Peretti, Tabitha, is badass. Have you heard him talk about Julius Caesar in Rome? Oh, God. In fact, he wrote the book on Julius Caesar. The wild part about it is people have, you know, the argument with Caesar and Cicero depends on the way you look at politics. Right. Like if you're looking at Julius Caesar was a military populist. Well, populace, going with this idea of the public and the crowd, and Peretti makes this kind of argument on the reason why Caesar was killed was because he was a populist. Like, it wasn't so much that he was full-on dictator. That might have been part of it, but part of it also was that he was galvanizing the public, and he was essentially working towards the interests of the public, and not necessarily the interests of the wealthy that were in Rome. Now, if you listen to somebody else, they would say Cicero was this defender of the empire, and Cicero, being the defender of the empire, you know, was eventually murdered and all this other stuff. Some of this stuff is fascinating, depending on who you're listening to and what argument they're making on why that person was X. Now, some of this depends on the perspective that you're taking, and oftentimes the perspective is given from the standpoint of the people at the top of the scale, not the people at the bottom. Andrew Jackson was a great guy, unless you were Native American. Unless you were Native American. Let's see. All right, I'm going to end this because we've been running our mouth. We've totally gone off the thread. The Black Agenda Report is awesome. Glenn Ford is a goddamn troubadour. He's awesome. Martian Villager, you're departing from your usual talking point, encouraging progressives arming to bash Mickey and Bernie. What? What did Martian talk? Martian deviated? Everybody please read Glenn Ford's article calling Bernie an imperialist. He brings the facts. We ignore the facts. No, it's not that. It's... Look, there's an argument to be made that to some degree you always make do with what you got. But that depends. Like, there are ranges. If what you're trying to make do with doesn't necessarily get you by, then there's no point in trying to make do with it and you call it a day. If somebody is offering a job that's paying $3 an hour, then what's the point in taking the job if you can't pay for the things that you need with the $3 an hour? However, if somebody is offering 15 is closer to what you need to get by, so you go with the 15 thinking that you can make inroads on the 15. This is to some degree chess to me. You push it forward and you go from there after you make inroads. Clinton doesn't work that way because Clinton doesn't necessarily get you any inroads. Sanders does. Sanders does. Hey, Mark, yes. You can talk about it today at the Patron Appreciation. Let's do it then. We're going to talk to Trudy first about the Sanders thing, but you can be next. That works. That totally works. Bonnie, I think Jamal is stuck in the wishful thinking Bernie sells out the world oppressed majority. When I got here, we used an Uber to get from point A to point B. The reason we use Uber to get from point A to point B is because we can't afford to do taxis everywhere we go. Otherwise, we won't be able to do the trip. Does that mean we stay where we are? Do we use Uber? You use Uber because you want to be able to do the trip. Try to give the guy a little extra cash to make his life a little bit better, even though you know you're using something that's fully exploiting him. If somebody decides to use Amazon, they're using Amazon knowing that Amazon pays no tax, while at the same token fucks over its workers magnificently in order to get them X or Y from Amazon. But they may not be able to get the thing that they need from Amazon that they actually need, not just people bullshitting stuff. Everything that you do, not everything, that's too strong, but a lot of what you do is exploitive. You buy a hamburger, you're exploiting the person at the cashier stand. You get this, you get that. Sanders may fall into that line. Yes, I'm making a comparison between Sanders and buying something because ultimately, for all intents and purposes, you are buying something. I'm not going to get everything I want in Sanders. I'm not going to get everything I want in anybody. Jamal, watch David Harvey and Chris Hedges' video addresses higher wages and universal basic income. Capitalists would negate benefit by raising prices and gain more wealth. Yes and no. And that depends. That's not an absolute, Tabitha. That depends. If it's a situation where the universal basic income, people are spending more money where it's kind of like this argument about inflation. What is the price point? What is the amount that you give people where they spend into the community itself, where it depends on the supplies that those people are buying? If that money is going where people have to, I'm saying this poorly, I'm saying this extremely poorly, but it's not a full straightforward thing that prices rise. Prices will rise if it's the goods that people are buying. If the people are buying more stuff and those stuff are not able to be supplied, then yeah, prices will go up. But that's not an absolute. And we don't necessarily know how much they talk about for UBI. There is a middle ground where it works. There's a middle ground where it works. Now, and keep in mind, all of this are anything that you're talking about within the context of a capitalistic system, it's going to be imperfect. There is no utopia. The system needs to collapse as inherently exploitive. Yes, Tabitha, yes. That's my point. That's my point. It's like all of these things are just trying to make people's lives better for the coming collapse. That type of stuff. Yeah, I agree, Tabitha. All right. I'm going to end this. We always get into these conversations with the audience after the fact. Look, one last thing on Sanders. I never said Sanders was perfect. Honestly, I never said Sanders was perfect. Yeah. But I'm okay with you disagreeing on this. Yeah, that's just part of politics. Jamal, the people's buying power has absolutely nothing to do with prices. No, it does. No, that's not true, Marsha. It does. If you're buying, say for the moment, the government comes out and says, all right, anybody who wants to go to school for free can go to school for free. We're opening the universities because we realize that this allows people to spur more growth and all this other stuff. And now you have people who have the ability to essentially go to school. Now, in the context of buying, let's say this will be in similar way of if you just gave a bunch of people money and said they can do certain things. If they have to get more desks, if they have to get more teachers, if if that money is going for competing or smaller and smaller items, the prices are going to go up just because you're going to have more people with money trying to compete and buy for those things. If 10 people were trying to buy one item, that one item is going to raise in price. I mean, buying power does have something to do with price. I mean, come on. I mean, it's inflation in and of itself. Like this idea of
where have all the haberdashers gone?
But no, inflation does. I mean, money does have something to do with it. The more money that's dumped into a thing, if your money is chasing smaller and smaller things, the things that that money is chasing is going to increase. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. Skip Rock, Danny Nat needs to stop globalism and Marxism. Trump promised 1,000 virgins and a golden toilet. Where's my pooper, jerk? Oh, God. Not at all. Diamonds are not rare. No, they're not, but they're constrained by the people who are there. And only expensive because De Beers control the supply. No, that's true. That's true. That's true. But let's say De Beers, but even with the controlling the supply thing, they're controlling the amount in order to inflate the price. That kind of proves my point. It does inflate the price. It does inflate the price. All right. I'm going to end this. I'm making excuses. How am I making excuses? You made an argument. Your argument was that money or buying power doesn't influence prices. My answer to you was they do. And as proof positive, you gave me an example of diamonds saying that they control the supply, which increases the price. I'm making a point to you that the fact that they control the supply, they do that to increase the price, which makes my point. Let's say you don't use diamonds. Let's say you pick any other item. Let's say you pick a speaker, and let's say there was one speaker that 10 people was bidding on the speaker. If 10 people are bidding on one speaker, certainly the price of the speaker is going to increase. I mean, come on. Come on. The people who control the supplies control the prices. Our buying power does not. Your buying power does. That's what I'm saying. The more people that you have that are buying for something, the part of the reason in the argument that Tabitha was making for the universal basic income, increasing the wages or increasing the prices of items, was because you're going to have more people essentially buying for those items. Their argument is that that increase in price is going to negate the benefits that you get from universal basic income. That's literally the argument that they're making. The thing that you're saying is not true is literally the argument that other people are making here. It does. Inflation in and of itself. Go listen to what's his name talking about inflation. I had him on the show asking him about inflation. He said the exact same thing. Richard Wolff. Richard Wolff. I mean, come on. Come on. All right, I'm going to end this. Maybe we're misunderstanding each other. And maybe you mean something else by buying power. That's an auction, Jamal. That's not an auction, Marsha. That's not an auction. Say for the moment that a universal basic income kicks in effect, and everybody gets $1,000 extra a month. With that $1,000 extra a month, say for whatever reason, I don't know why, but there is a fascination with cantaloupes. Yeah, cantaloupes. Let's pick some weird thing. In that fascination of cantaloupes, many of the people are using the new money that they got, the new wealth, to buy those cantaloupes. As the supply of cantaloupes starts to run down, are you telling me that the price of cantaloupes won't go up based upon the supply of cantaloupes going down? I didn't say bidding. I never used the term bidding. I never use that word. You use that word, not me. Rewind the video. You would never hear me use the word bidding. At least I don't think I did. But I think there's somewhat of a flat fact. I don't know how you argue with that point. Dr. Wolf, yeah. Dr. Wolf cracks me up the way he speaks to everyone as if they're really young or really old. Ryan Perez. You know, the funny part is, when he was on the show, he acted like I was like 18 years old. It was the weirdest shit ever. And it's like, dude, I'm not one of your, because he was saying, God, I would love to have you in my class. And I thought, God, I would love to be in your class. I just don't know how to get there. I don't know how to get there. A, I can't afford it. And B, well, A, I can't afford it. Jamarl by hook or by crook Thomas. They're giving me shit for for my position on Kavanaugh. Look, do you want me to be honest with you, or do you want me to lie to you? Which one is it? If you want me to lie to you, just tell me now. I figure you're my audience. I'm trying to be honest to my audience. Fair enough, Marsha. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Neocon. Oh, right. I saw that one. And what's this one? Check donations. I did check donations. What are you talking about? Oh, Andrew Gillum's brother. Gollum's brother. Andrew Gillum's brother confirmed that Gillum is doing this for funding for the Democrats and Hillary Clinton, doing it for her 2020 run credentials, and confirmed she's running in 2020. No way! No way, that's not true. I don't believe that's true. No way, Balthazar, no way. No way, that can't be true. Marsha, do you want to call in? You can call in, Marsha. That's fine. Like I said, I could be completely misunderstanding you on this, so fair enough. So fair enough. Are you serious? No way, no way. I gotta read that again, because if that's true, Balthazar, that's my next video. Andrew Gillum's brother confirmed that Gillum is doing this for funding from the Democrats, and Hillary Clinton is doing this for her 2020 run credentials, and confirmed she's running in 2020. Did you hear that? Hillary Clinton is running in 2020. You don't believe it? My wife doesn't believe it. She's like, whatever. She's like, whatever. Like she's like, whatever. Whatever. Not buying it.
What? Like a marathon?
No, not a marathon. For president. She's trying to be your president, babe. Balthazar, I have to look that up. Balthazar, dude, I have to fact check that, man. That would be mind blowing. Look, I don't disagree that she would use Gillum to beef up her bona fides from standpoint of, look how much of a lefty I am. And the same with the Cory Booker was like, look how much of a lefty I am. I'm standing beside this guy. I'm standing beside him. So I'm not necessarily shocked by that. Hillary Clinton running in 2020 would be mind blowing. That would be mind blowing. Like that's, oh God, that would be mind blowing. That would be mind blowing. If that's true, Donald Trump wins again in 2020. If that's true, he wins in 2020. She doesn't win. She doesn't beat Trump. She doesn't beat Trump. I swear to God, she doesn't beat him. Jamal and his fuck that. I am Sylar. If I didn't vote for Hillary the last time, you think I'm going to vote for her this time around? Essa says, Jamal, you don't think Democrats are that dumb? I sure do. I honestly, I don't think they can tolerate her. Like, the people who were in her camp was against her running again. Jamal, I don't like calling in, but I'm also expecting the nurse to change my decision dressing anytime soon, so no phone calls. Fair enough, Marsha. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think we're misunderstanding each other. So I don't necessarily think we're debating. It's some, reading this could be a little truncated. You approve of Democrat tactic, though. You mean for Kavanaugh? For Brett Kavanaugh? Yes. Yeah, I do. Full stop. Yes. It's politics. It's smash mouth politics, but it's politics. It's not that I like it. If under normal circumstances, no. But this is different. They've stolen multiple seats. You get that, right? Like, this is a situation where they've literally stolen multiple seats. And it's stealing multiple seats. Now it's like, oh, we just want to be fair. We just want to be fair. Fuck that. Fuck that. In this very specific instance, fuck that. Hillary just won our adrenochrome. I don't know what adrenochrome is. Adrenochrome. Civil war sometimes leads to progress. True or false? That is true. That is true. That is true. Jamal, will you address Sam Cedar and Benjamin Dixon smearing Jimmy Dore on the Majority Report show? I saw that. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. I had planned on doing that show. I think it was either yesterday or day before yesterday, and just never got around to doing it. My issue is this: there are 3 shows that need to be done for Jimmy Dore. Why do you hate Kavanaugh's daughters? What? What? What do you mean I hate Kavanaugh's daughters? I don't hate Kavanaugh's daughters. I get your point. I get your point. They're calling his dad a rapist. Look, full stop. You don't know that Kavanaugh's innocent. Full stop. You don't know that. The truth of the matter is, this could just be politics in the sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Convenient politics. It's very possible that Kavanaugh did exactly what they're accusing Kavanaugh of doing. So, this idea that, oh, this woman is a fake just because the guy's about to be confirmed is a fail. That's a fail to me. I'm honest enough to say that I gotta be honest, I don't care. Because this is theater, and you have Democrats on one side that are gonna automatically say Kavanaugh shouldn't be confirmed, this is a horrendous thing, we can't put a rapist on the Supreme Court, and you're gonna have Republicans who say this guy isn't this woman doesn't seem to be like she's raped, and all this other stuff, this kind of gross stuff. I have no fucking clue what took place 40 years ago. I don't. In fact, neither do you. They tried to rush Kavanaugh through the process. That's true. They tried to rush him through the process after stopping Obama from getting his pick in. That's also true. So, am I going to weep for Kavanaugh because he's a political liability in this? No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. His daughters should have had a better dad. That's where I'm at. Because at the end of the day, this knuckle-dragging right-winger is going to get on the court and do some really nasty shit for the next 40 years. So, do I care? Do I weep for his daughters? No. I don't. I don't at all. Orwellian Times, love the show, Jamal. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Orwellian Times. All right. I'm going to end this. I keep saying that. Bonnie Florino, Kavanaugh will be seated. I hope not. Honestly, I hope not. I really do. It's possible that both Ford and Kavanaugh are both douchebags too. Yeah, D. Martin, it is. I don't know. Orwellian Time, Cedar needs to stop smearing Jimmy Dore. Yeah, he does. Cedar is gaslighting. He's gaslighting. Understand what's taking place. Sam Cedar and Ben Dick are gaslighting. You have Sam Cedar, who's an MSNBC contributor, and you have Ben Dixon, who would love to be an MSNBC contributor, smearing Jimmy Dore because they're jealous of Jimmy Dore. At a certain point, the jealousy becomes so overwhelming that it just stinks up the room or just stinks up wherever you are. And that's what it comes across. Nobody wants Sam Cedar on their show, so Sam Cedar, the best he could get was Benjamin Dixon. He was jealous when he got on Joe Rogan. He's jealous of the fame that Jimmy Dore has been able to get. He's jealous that people love Dore. He's jealous that he lost thousands of subscribers when he started smearing and shit. This is jealousy, and this is gaslighting. This is some MSNBC hack that's essentially out there shilling for the Democratic Party, who Ben Dick and Sam Cedar wanted you to vote Hillary Clinton, that was pushing hard for you to vote Hillary Clinton, and she lost. She lost. Get over it. Get over it. And it's like they're blaming Dore. And it's this nonsense blaming of Dore as if it's Dore's job to get your shitty candidate elected. Get over it. Get over it. It's fucking embarrassing. Like I listened to part of it and I'm like, God, they're embarrassing. They're so embarrassing. Like, there's a certain degree where the jealousy just fills up the room. And you're like, what's that stink? That smells like cedar and dicks. Yeah, that smells like Cedar and Dick's jealousy. That's what that smells like. That's what it comes across as. It's gaslighting. You're being gaslit. I'm sorry, you're being gaslit. That's literally what's taking place. We need you to vote for Hillary Clinton. Sam Cedar has a video where he's explaining to somebody how he's selling some product and Jimmy Dore is selling a product and he needs you to buy his product, so he needs to attack Jimmy Dore to get you to buy his product. That's this. That's this. That's what this is. That's literally what this is. Every time he goes out and does a show that attacks Jimmy Dore, he wants you to buy his lemonade as opposed to buying Dore's lemonade, because his lemonade says vote for Hillary Clinton. Vote for any random Democrat. That's what it is. That's literally what it is. So I don't waste my time doing a response video for this nonsense, because I see it as what it is, nonsense. At a certain point, it becomes so absolutely radically absurd that you're like, it's ridiculous on his face. I don't need to respond. These are people who are jealous. These are people who are just fantastically, completely, unequivocally, embarrassingly, flagrantly, radically jealous of Jimmy Dore's success. You like the way I tied those adjectives together, right? Oh, my bad. My bad. I thought my wife heard me on that. But yeah. Huh, that was weird. Oh, I see what's going on. One less concentration camp, Sam Cedar. That's another thing. Sam Cedar is the guy that said he would vote for somebody who was building concentration camps. That should tell you everything you need to know about Sam Cedar's voting methodology. One concentration camp less Sam Cedar. That's Sam Cedar. Somebody called in to Sam Cedar and said, hey, if a candidate was building one concentration camp less than another candidate, would you vote for him? He says yes, unequivocally yes. Yes. You can look at the video. I've shown the video more than once because it's such a fantastic thing to hear that he'll vote for concentration camps. Good job. You do that. You do that. You do that. Yeah, there's progressives and there's progressives. No, Balthazar, they're sheepdogs. People who want you to vote random Democrat. And then there's lefties. I don't like to use this fake progressive thing because from the standpoint of policy, Sam Cedar, if he was a stronger person, would be right there with you on most of the policies. He's a sheepdog for the Democratic Party, and he's a creature of that party. The gaslighting is in order to get you to vote for Democrats. It's just like Democrats saying everybody who votes for Trump are racist and sexist. If you can create this image of people that are racist and sexist when they vote for Trump, then it makes it more difficult to vote for Trump. It creates a headwind from sample to politics. It's actually pretty good politics if you want to do that. Barack Obama did the exact same thing to Mitt Romney by casting him as a rich fuck. Rich Romney is a rich fuck, so it works quite well together in that sense. Jimmy Dore by no stretch is a dum-dum. And fact is, these are the guys that have lost constantly. Constantly. Cedar and his bunch. Dixon. The Hillary voters. They've lost flagrantly and constantly. Now, Sam Cedar's angry that his candidate lost. And he's taking it out on Jimmy Dore, just like those embarrassing people online that are supposed to be part of the resistance that take it out on Susan Sarandon. These people are embarrassing. I'm sorry. In his case, he's just jealous. He doesn't like Jimmy Dore's success. He's jealous. The gaslighting is to get you to buy his Kool-Aid, not Jimmy Dore's. That's the beginning and end of it. Just saying. If you got somebody in office who is actually to the left, Cedar will be in your corner and Cedar will be voting for that guy. The catch is, though, Cedar is just a Democrat. And Cedar wants you to vote Democrat. That's the beginning and end of it. So, if Cedar wants to come on the show and have a conversation about Jimmy Dore, Cedar is welcome. Michael Brooks is also welcome on the show to have a conversation about Jimmy Dore. Both are. Both are. Neither one of them would ever take that up. Michael Brooks might. Sam Cedar would never leave that show to have any kind of conversation. Ever. Ever. He's not that way. I've been on other shows to have debates to people who were skeptical of the opinion that I was taking on. And, you know, I've been willing to do that. Is Cedar willing to do that? Is Cedar willing to do that? Huh? What about his work wife? Is Michael Brooks willing to do that? To have a conversation about Door? Is he? Is he? I seriously fucking doubt it. They're creatures of that show. And neither of them can leave that show. They can talk all the shit in the world they can to that clown car of a fuckfest show that they got. And his arguments with libertarians are on point. But that's punching kids. The libertarians are ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. I would love to see you eviscerate Cedar's work wife. It depends on the conversation. Omar P. No, real talk. It depends on the conversation. Let me explain what I mean. Cedar's not a slouch. Like seriously, real talk. Cedar is not a slouch. Like, he's not the person to jump on thinking that he's easy. He's not. I've heard Cedar. If you ever get the opportunity, binge watch Cedar debating libertarians. It is the greatest thing on the planet. Like you will be cheering Cedar on as he eviscerates libertarians. But that's where it ends. It's easy to punch a child. Libertarians, the argument that libertarians usually make are nonsense. And so, but, you know, Tim Black was a good example of that. Of going on the show thinking you just randomly jump on Sam Cedar and get eaten alive. Or Jizzle, Jamal, you're lightweight, Cedar will smash you. I'm glad you think that. I'm glad you think that. But again, it depends on the topic. Depends on the topic. The wild part about it is, I don't like these talks. And I was even trying to actively avoid talking about Cedar. Because I am in this mindset that, like, 90% of the shit that would come up, we'd probably agree. Like, and that's the part that annoys me about some of these conversations. The attacks on Door are nonsense. Your party needs to be fucking better. And if your party is losing to a goddamn reality show host, maybe you need to investigate your party and not fucking Jimmy Dore. Cedar doesn't have the cojones to debate Jamal. It depends on the topic. Again, it depends on the topic. Depends on the topic. Yeah, I would have a topic to talk about Dora. Yes. That, yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's not that hard to prove libertarian is wrong. Yeah. Tell them to go to the libertarian paradise of Somalia. Right. Or people not having health care. Or people dying in the street because they don't have health care. And libertarians are stepping over them like, this is the greatest thing on the planet. It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. All right. God, this video was supposed to be over with 30 minutes ago. But fair enough. I'll end it here. No, honestly, it annoys the fuck out of me when I hear him going after Door because, A, it comes across as, God, they're just so fucking jealous. Like, jealous in a shallow way, not even jealous in an overt way. And B, this is just flat out gaslighting. Jamal, most people shrink away in shame after you debate, just like Sylar. I try not to look bad on my own show, and I try not to look bad when I go into other people's shows to debate. I tend to be okay at it. My wife gets sick of me the way I position the conversation. See, now I'm down for a cage match. It's not a cage match. It's not that bad. You know, the irony of it is, I actually like Cedar. I don't like it when he's talking about Dora, but I typically like Cedar. They're paid, Jamal, can't you tell? So here's the weird part. Yes and no. I don't think they're paid in the sense of cash. I think they're paid in the sense of party affiliation. Meaning, he's a Democrat, and as a media arm of the Democratic Party, just like Tom Hartman, they have a line in the toe. They have this kind of a certain script. And I don't mean script in a literal sense of somebody handing him a script. It's something that they take on from the standpoint of this kind of gaslighting thing. They are gaslighting. He's gaslighting. That is literally what he is doing. He is gaslighting. Complete gaslighting. Door's a TYT whore. Door's not a TYT whore. In fact, Door may be losing that job pretty soon. I don't know if it's true. I heard somebody, a source told me that. I don't know if it's true. Cedar is a fence straddler trying to dilute demands of progressives. Yes. Berman, yes. Yes, that's true. So is Hartman. So is Tom Hartman. Tom Hartman is one of the brightest people you'll ever meet in your life. And to hear himself turn himself into knots during the 2016 election was painful to watch. It was painful to watch. It really was. Bill O'Reilly. Well, look, my reasoning here, and look, the argument that was made to me was Door is attacking other members of TYT contributors. And yeah, I think it's fine to say. Somebody who's affiliated or close to the network told me, they said, look, Door is getting in a fight with the TYT contributor on Twitter. That was going to be one of my shows. And in getting in a fight with one of the TYT contributors, he's also essentially attacking TYT. I mean, and TYT is going to want to have all eyes on Trump, especially if Democrats take either the House or the Senate. They're going to want a united front. TYT is part of that united front from the standpoint of getting the sheepdogging side of the front. It's MSNBC light. And I would say you can just look at their coverage and see what I mean by that. It's MSNBC light. And they're going to want a united front. I don't know if I fully agree with that, though. The reason I don't, but I'm not close to TYT, so I don't know. The reason why I don't fully agree with it has more to do with whether or not this is a fiscal consideration or whether this is a political consideration. TYT is, you know, I don't know if they can call themselves a news organization in an overt sense. They're more so a political body. Or a media wing of a political body, let's say it that way. As a media wing of the Democratic Party, from the standpoint of, you could say, the rowdier brother of MSNBC, will they want a united front? I don't know if that's true. My argument is more along the lines of whether they want a united front or not, they want to maintain a certain degree of bona fides from the standpoint of the left. Severing Jimmy Dore off severs that aspect of the left. So I don't necessarily know if it's true, but we'll see. Tom is a less angry version of TYT. I love Tom Hartman. I love Tom Hartman. I've learned so much from Tom Hartman. Like, he's, like I said, one of the smartest men on the planet. God, I love the guy. Yes, he will. Progressive Voice and Sam Cedar will probably do damage control from Hillary's voice. Oh, they don't watch this shit. They don't watch my videos. I only have 14,000 people. Yeah, I only have 14,000 people. TYT needs Jimmy for views. Either views or bona fides. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong. Tom Hartman is like your favorite high school English teacher. Yeah, he is. Stephen Cole, yeah. Yeah, he is. He is. He really is. He really is. Correct your false. What species extinction? Quote precisely from the study, not the news report. You were way wrong and need to admit it. I don't know what you're talking about. Thank me later. Thank me later. I don't know what you're talking about. They watch, they just don't subscribe. If they're anything like me, they're probably just watching for content. Which is yeah. Jimmy did not ask critical questions of Nomi. Well, no, of course he's not. He's friends with Nomi. I've tried to have Nomi on the show plenty of times. Well, their argument is people should vote Democrat. That's all. That's what they want. They just want people to vote Democrat. Like, the entire argument boils down to Jimmy Dore should have supported Hillary Clinton We're angry that he doesn't support Hillary Clinton, and now we want to attack Joe Dore because he didn't support Hillary Clinton. And if we can say that this is the dumb left, then we can create this kind of model of this in order to gaslight for people to vote Democrat. The basis of the argument is nonsense. They're shills. Hartman is a party shill. That's true. That doesn't mean that he's not stupid. No, D. Martin, I disagree with you on that. No, I'm sorry, Trina Be Fine. No. I massively disagree with you all on that. Massively disagree with you all on that. Cedar, Ben Nixon are as much a sheepdog as Chomsky. That's not true. Their argument is really, can't let the worst people win. It's kind of the same, but it's not. I don't think that's true. I don't think Chomsky is a Democrat per se in the traditional sense of, Democrat. I think Chomsky was freaked out with Trump getting into office. And I think Chomsky's thing was, don't let the world fall off a cliff. I think that was his argument. The question becomes whether you think the world is going to fall off of a cliff. And the answer is no. I don't think that. At least not from the standpoint of Trump being the originator. Look, at a certain point, you say I'm done and you walk. The party changes or the party dies. And the idea of continuously supporting something that you don't particularly like seems like nonsense to me. One concentration camp less Sam Cedar. Every year you get one more less concentration camp. Hey, maybe one year you get 5 less concentration camps, even though you got 20 concentration camps. According to Sam Cedar, that's perfectly okay. It's a nonsense position. Some of those things are dependent upon... Look, if... I know people say they don't particularly like Sanders. I don't quite get that one. Come on, Jamal. The species extinction study, you have reference. Oh, you mean the 40%? A lot of times, but never quoted directly. Oh, what's your issue with the study? I need to know your issues with the study. The 40% extinction? Yeah, I have quoted that. 40% of the species have gone extinct. Now, what is your issue with that? You're saying that that's not true. I need something to see outside of just your word for it. Chomsky is a gatekeeper. Chomsky is an anarchist who gets his views essentially not allowed on mainstream media networks. And in such, he's stuck. You could say best of worst case scenarios. That's the way he looks at it. That's the way he looks at it. What's happening, Trudy? We need a movement that can obstruct the status quo. Until then, voting won't play much of a role. Martian Villager, I actually agree with you on that. Not the voting part. I think voting matters. I think the system needs, for better or for worse, struggle over the political edifice is what people consider to be legitimate. Until legitimacy fails, voting matters. Like you can make an argument that you want things to get so bad that people, have this kind of magnificent revolution. That is wrong. 40%. You say now, okay, quote the study, not the Guardian. Oh, you're saying quote the study, not the Guardian. Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Thank me later. All right, I'll thank you later. I'm voting Republican because Susan Sarandon has been stealing my bacon.
That's funny.
Democrats will never get back to being anti-war, anti-corporate. They have worked to suppress the real left. That might be true. I don't know. I mean, look, there have been political changes. So I can't say that as an absolute. Bill Clinton was a political change. Like for what Democrats were, this kind of death of the New Dealers. Bill Clinton, third way Democrats. You can say after Reagan came in, Reagan kind of created this kind of iconic figure in the White House in which Democrats emulated, this kind of Thatcher era. There have been changes. I mean, FDR, significant change. In fact, that change lasted, what, 60 years, 60, 70 years? It's the image that these guys put out today. So, yeah. Now he's campaigning with Hillary. Baltazar, I want to look up that story that you put out. I need to figure that out. I need to see if that's true, because that will be mind-blowing if that's true. That would be mind-blowing if it's true. So, all right. Dory's going off the deep end, pissed at Bernie because he won't go on the show. There's more to it than that, Trudy. But yeah, I think he's a little strong on the Sanders thing. But, well, the difference is, I am Sylar, you're being a fucking asshole, and it's possible that Kavanaugh was a rapist. You're just doing it for shits and giggles. So yeah, I will ban you because I ban anybody who says stupid shit like that. You never say how much H. Goodman's strategy. What are your thoughts? I've had Goodman on my show many times. Seriously? He's not there yet. So look, I don't know Goodman's. Let me tell you what I thought Goodman's strategy was. Let me say it that way. I said it that way. After Sanders lost, I think you're stuck with this thing of they cheated my guy. And in cheating my guy, what is going to be the response? No difference, yeah. If you don't know that there's a difference in those things, you're just being, again, dishonest. That seems to be a hallmark with you, dude. You seem to be dishonest. It's just a natural way of going about your affairs. But yeah, give me more money if you want to argue it. If you want to put super chats out to make that argument, fair enough. Look, they cheated your guy. And in a representative government or representative democracy, the only thing you have is I'm voting for this person. And there is, of course, actions outside of the political context. I guess I don't necessarily know if protesting and marching and all this other stuff and pushing for it. But you reach a point of saying they're not changing. Not only are they not changing, when you follow the rules, this kind of politically abused spouse, and that politically abused spouse push their person up and actively push for that person, and that guy was cheated, why on earth would you turn around and support the people who cheated you? I don't care the degree to which they cheated you. Why would you turn around and support those people? Now, HA agreed with us. I mean, clearly. But he took it to another degree of, in order to get any real political change, the Democratic Party needs to either change or be destroyed in order to create something else that can actually get that change. Now, the problem with this strategy is you're supporting, it's like supporting Godzilla in order to fight King Kong. And the question becomes, well, what happens after you get rid of King Kong and you're only left with Godzilla? I understand what he's getting at, and this party needs to be destroyed or broken to such a degree where something else can take its place, or where the elements of the party that are at the base could somehow assert a certain degree of control, a hegemonic control of the party again. Essentially, what Democrats were, let's say, in the 30s and 40s. Or 40s, let's say 40s, after the war. I disagree with him on this. I disagree with him on this. I don't need to support Trump to disagree with Democrats. I can be a thing unto myself without necessarily being affiliated with either party. That is perfectly allowable. Now, if Trump does something that I like, I say, great, I like it. If Trump does something that I hate, I say he's a fucking asshole. If a Democrat does something I like, I say I like it. If a Democrat does something I hate, I say he's a fucking asshole. I could sit here on the fence and I could point to things that I like and dislike with the idea of having a certain political ideology. That's my issue. Uh-oh. You're the dishonest one. That's why you accuse others of not being honest. Typical fake. No, I accuse you of not being honest because you're not being honest. That's why I'm accusing you of being dishonest. Jamarl of Democrat tactics. Again, dishonesty. Dishonesty.
T. My Deacon second. God, no. That's funny.
Identity politics corrupts the left and allows neoliberals to gain power and continue neocon policy. Yes. Yes, that's true. HA is Tom Lauren without the wig. Oh man, I don't know. There are times where I wish I can pull HA to the side and say, dude, just be honest with me. Have you really drastically changed that much? Like, God, I want to know. I so want to know. And God, you've been watching the hearings. Oh God, you're a better person than I am. You're a better person than I am. I've been honest about my bias here. I don't need to watch the hearings. I've been honest about my bias. This is theater to me. Like, who are you going to believe? Do you honestly believe that the Democrats care whether or not that woman was raped? I'm sorry, they don't. I'm sorry, they don't. Now, from the standpoint of women who are looking at this saying, oh my God, there may be a rapist on the court, those women are serious. Those women are real. Those women are really pissed off at this, that the Republicans are willing to do this, which is the reason why Democrats did it in the first place. Do you honestly believe that Republicans care whether that woman was raped? They do not. They just want to move this hearing along and get Kavanaugh on the bench. I'm being honest with you when I say I don't care. That's more than what you're going to get from the people that are in the politics of it. The hearing may be interesting from the standpoint that comes up, but what you're going to get is Democrats saying, oh, this woman was raped, this is horrible, we need to slow this hearing down, and this needs to be a full investigation, at least till after the Senate hearing, the election. And you get Republicans saying, we need to move this shit along, You guys may hate my position on this, but I'm the one being honest. I'm being honest. Truth is, this happened 40 years ago. It is possible that this did happen. Meaning, it is possible that they're trying to put a rapist on the court. Republicans don't care. By the same token, it's possible it didn't happen. It's also possible that this is just being used for political effect, even though it happened. You don't know. My honesty here is boiled down to this honest thing of, I don't know. I either believe or I don't. And from a political standpoint, there's no way for me to know. There's no way for me to know. What I would tell you is this. It is very possible that Ben Kavanaugh raped that woman. It is possible that Ben Kavanaugh didn't rape that woman. 40 years after the fact. How in the hell would I know? Now she's getting up there and giving testimony. Every Democrat, every random Democrat is like, oh my God, this guy might be a rapist. And every random Republican is like, this woman is making this shit up. Now, what am I to do with that? What am I to do with that? Like, am I to just look at that and say, okay, what am I to do with that? Like, am I to really look at that? Am I to say, yes, she did it, or no, he didn't? And wouldn't both of those positions be dishonest to some degree? The answer is yes, both positions would be dishonest. It's honest with you. I don't care. I don't want him on the Supreme Court. Yeah, either way, Kavanaugh should not be confirmed. Agreed. I mean, this idea that you should move this shit along because you think it's a political hit job, whether you think it's a political hit job or not is kind of besides the point. At the very least, it should be investigated. They're accusing the guy of fucking rape. I mean, come on. Trina be fine. This did happen. You don't know that, Trina. That's the problem. I don't want to say Kavanaugh in Supreme Court, but it shouldn't be dismissed based on an accusation. Yeah, I don't think it should be dismissed. Oh, you mean the thing? No, but at the very least, it should be investigated, though. You'd agree with that, right? It should be investigated. I mean, for fuck's sake. Everything's possible, right? I don't want Kavanaugh, but I watched the entire proceedings. He's innocent. Vegan for the planet. Seriously, you think that? I'm glad you think that. I agree, it should be investigated. Yeah, it should be. I mean, come on. I mean, let's be clear here. I gave you my position on this. So my position is pretty clear. I'm biased as all fuck. But whether I'm biased or not, it's a secondary case. My thing is, I don't know. I just don't care. It's possible that he's innocent. It's possible he's guilty. I don't know how you do an investigation 40 years prior. Her story could be perfectly true, and Democrats could be using it for political effect. Her story could be false, and they're using it for political effect. Her story could be true, and it could be somebody else. Like, this is 40 years ago. Like, this is my thing with this. Like, it's something happened 40 years ago. Every Democrat you talk to says he's guilty. Every Republican says he's innocent. Where do you go with that? Where do you go with that? Sexual assault is a thing, whether or not it qualifies as rape. Fair enough. That's true. Fair enough. Fair enough. Raise your hand if you want a rapist on the Supreme Court. Raise your hand if you think we can vote him in before his guilt is proved. Right there, right there. That's the point. They're trying to rush this along. What if he's guilty? It is very possible that the man is guilty. Very possible that the man is guilty. You guys may hate my opinion on this, but I am the only one giving you an honest opinion. Are you fucking hitting me for an honest opinion? Well, I guess you can hit me for an honest opinion. I'm just saying, everybody else is telling you purely based on their political leanings. I, at the very least, acknowledge that they're telling you shit based on their political leanings. She claimed this back in 2012. Xander GC, thank you. I love Wheel Change covered this issue, mentioned different reasons why he should not be judged on the Supreme Court. Yeah, I don't think he should be either. Jason went through the standard background check. I would recommend watching both opening statements in full. Will do. I'm giving you an honest opinion. I'm not a Republican, and I think he's innocent. Oh, Vegan. I don't know. I wasn't saying it that way, Vegan. I've watched on Twitter. This is the only. You can't get away from this. You can't get away from this. Everybody is talking about this case. Everybody is looking at this case, and so it's like you're like, God, man. This to me is political theater, and I'm trying to avoid this political theater. Jamal, be honest. Time-traveling cyborg Russian alien hacked your brain in 1992. I don't know what happened in 1992, so that may be true. Her testimony sounded like someone remembering a sexual assault from the past. Going to be hard to determine if it happened. Yeah, hate all this bias, party politics. First thumbs down, hate all this bias, This is not party politics. Vegan for the planet. You think he's innocent, but you don't know that. You don't know that. Then he's going to have the seat for life. Yes, he's going to have the seat for life. They want him before the election. Yes, they want him before the election. I tend to not trust both parties for stuff like yes. Look, I don't know if Kavanaugh did it. Neither does anybody else is there. Real talk. Nobody knows. None of these people know. All of these people are giving you their opinion based on political leanings. The reality of it is, though, there is a woman that's sitting there that may have actually been raped. There's reality to this. But what the reality is hard to know. Yeah, I don't know. I think she was probably assaulted, but there's no evidence, and the witnesses she cited refuted her statements. Fox News thought Dr. Blasley sounded credible. He protests way too much. They're accusing him of rape, Fruity. You protest too. If Democrats hold up Kavanaugh and they don't win either chamber, it'll come even harder than back. Oh, God, man. Can you imagine that? They hold up Kavanaugh, because if they don't get the Senate, then this becomes a moot point. They have to do two things. From their standpoint, from the standpoint of Democratic politics, they have to stop Kavanaugh and win the Senate. Otherwise, all of this becomes a moot point. Sanders GC never refuted. They said they couldn't remember because they didn't get assaulted. That's Xander, that is incorrect. They refuted her. Oh, God. Now my audience is arguing about it. Jesus Christ. They said they weren't there. That's not a refutation, Garden. That's them saying they weren't there. I understand what you're saying, but saying they refuted her story sounds like they're refuting the fact that she was raped, not they refuted the part that she was there. No. I'm gonna look it up. I don't. You're misunderstanding. I didn't see it. I'm just giving you the specific thing. No, Garden, I didn't see it, so I can't say one way or the other. I'm just saying that's my point. If there's anyone to blame, it's all the parents and the adults that see MIA in this situation. They were in college. As far as I know, they were in college. It's like the parents are to blame. Are the parents to blame? They were in college. The Intercept, Nancy Pelosi promises that Democrats will handcuff the Democratic agenda if they retake the House. Oh, you're talking about the pay-as-you-go stuff. Yeah. Someone on Jordan's channel tried to link a Cedar video smearing the victim as deep state. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. I'm going to end this. Refuting the statement, I should say. No. What I mean is, if she says I had Bob and Tim were with me while this was taking place, and Bob and Tim were like, well, no, I wasn't there. That refutes. Well, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. There's a difference between they refute the fact that this took place versus they say they weren't there. That's all. I'm being too precise or too specific, but that's fine. Steven, we're gonna get together. By the way, my travel plans got weird, and I need to figure out where I'm going to be. But I'll give you a heads up tonight. She told it to a therapist years ago. There's a record. There you go. Her therapist got the record. Her therapist got it. All right. If you guys enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through Patreon. Thank everyone who helped contribute to the channel. Omar, good looking out, and I am Sylar. I appreciate your donations. But yeah, if you lie, it's particularly about the hosts, you will get banished from the channel. At least for a short period of time until you come back, in which case all will be good again. And we can argue about whatever the fuck you want to argue about. Alright guys, you all have a good one. I'll see you shortly.